This is an exploration of computer-mediated communication and relationship based on the research of Dr. Ala Jabbar al-Maliki. Imagine a technically literate user joining a digital tech forum. Over several weeks, they build rapport with the community, sharing advice and establishing a reputation. Eventually, a fellow member shares a link to a new utility tool. The user downloads the file without verification. Within seconds, their local system is compromised, and the network's integrity is shattered. This raises a difficult question. Why do individuals who understand technical security protocols choose to bypass them in digital social environments? To find the answer, we have to look at computer-mediated communication, or CMC. CMC is the study of how digital platforms facilitate our exchanges. These platforms do more than transmit data. They manufacture the specific ways we interact and perceive one another. Because attackers use these digital patterns to bypass technical controls, understanding human communication is as vital to security as understanding encryption. When digital platforms accelerate human interaction, the resulting psychological responses create a layer of vulnerability that traditional software patches cannot reach. We begin by analyzing the environment where the compromise occurred: virtual communities. These include platforms like Reddit, specialized forums, or student groups. These groups are built on shared interests. This common ground creates a baseline of affiliation that makes strangers feel like trusted peers. These communities operate globally, which introduces a critical constraint: the lack of physical presence. Because communication is restricted to text or audio, the sense of personal accountability is lower than it would be in a face-to-face interaction. Without physical cues like body language, users are more likely to misinterpret an uploader's intent, often assuming safety where none exists. This environment facilitates specific risks. A malicious link can be disguised as free software, exploiting the community's helpful nature to deliver malware. These same structures also accelerate the spread of misinformation and provide a mask for insider threats. In an environment where interaction assumes good faith, security relies on strict verification and active moderation. How did the attacker convince the user to click? It comes down to digital trust, the belief that a user or platform is reliable. We use subconscious metrics to build trust. First, profile authenticity. A picture, bio, and activity history signal a real identity. Next, social proof. Mutual connections and followers imply safety. Finally, platform design. A verified badge or secure interface creates a professional aura, discouraging skepticism. These metrics function as a subconscious checklist. Users often rely on these visual signals instead of performing a technical security check. This architecture means that when these visual metrics are accepted at face value, the resulting trust functions as a vulnerability rather than a security feature. Attackers reverse engineer these three metrics to bypass a user's critical thinking. They create fake profiles, meticulously building a history and bio to manufacture an authentic identity. Or they use account hijacking, taking over a legitimate established account to inherit existing social proof. The direct method, authority impersonation, posing as a known organization. In a campus context, this might look like a message from admin requesting an urgent password reset using official university formatting. Technically proficient students often comply because they are trained to respect the authority of the interface, even if the request itself is a technical red flag. By mapping the psychological parameters of trust, attackers can engineer breaches that bypass traditional firewalls. The moment the user clicks the link is often driven by a concept called social presence. This is the feeling of being emotionally connected to others in a digital space, even without physical proximity. This feeling is maintained by an instant feedback culture. Notifications, likes, and typing indicators create a high-speed loop of interaction. This real-time environment creates a behavioral expectation for immediate responses. This constant demand for speed reduces the time available for a user to apply critical thinking or second-guess a link. Attackers weaponize this pace, using specific language, emojis, and tones to influence the user's emotional state. They trigger fear by claiming an account is hacked, or create a sense of urgency by insisting a user act now before a deadline passes. They also leverage social pressure. A user might download a file simply because they see their peers doing it, or because they feel a social obligation to help the sender. Social presence transforms a technical decision, like downloading an executable file, into an impulsive emotional reaction. This matrix synthesizes how CMC behaviors translate into cyber risks. Virtual communities rely on open interaction, creating a victor for malware. The belief that users are authentic allows attackers to succeed with impersonation, and the emotional connection of social presence creates the opening for manipulation. Digital platforms manufacture new forms of trust and presence. For an attacker, these are not social features. They are primary tools for intrusion. Because these digital platforms use speed to bypass logic, secure systems must be designed to do the exact opposite. This is the concept of artificial friction. By introducing mandatory delays for high-risk actions and providing clear warnings, we can break the cycle of emotional manipulation. Technical defenses will continue to face challenges until our security systems are designed to account for the predictable patterns of human communication.